Hey guys, it's me. I'm back for another spoiler review where I showcase your Stardust reactions. In this case, it's Dwayne Johnson's Rampage. Now, first order of business, Stardust. Stardust is the app where you can go give out quick 30-second reactions to a movie, TV show, trailer, simulator ride, whatever they have in their archive. You can put it out in the world. It's quick, straight to the point. You do the reaction, you upload it like that, and boom. You got everyone seeing your opinion on the internet and you don't have to drag out the point. It's a great tool for if you want to get into YouTube videos like me and a bunch of other people. And it's also fantastic for people like me who can't review everything that's out there, like TV shows or trailers. So we do this, although thanks to Stardust, I've been doing a few more trailer reactions. And the next Stardust video will be a trailer video as well. But I'll tell you guys what that is once we get to the end of the video. But first, Rampage. First of all, I gotta say thank you again to Stardust and Real D for hosting this screening. I had an absolute blast this time around. My opinion on the movie is middle of the road, but more on the positive end, where I'm like, yeah, it's the best video game movie out there. It doesn't mean it's particularly good. And if you go in with the right mindset that's going to be an all-out goofy monster movie, then you'll enjoy it. But for me, the best part about the night was getting to reconnect with a lot of people that I met beforehand through Stardust and that I've known before. Like The Real Rejects, Xavier Thomas, Don Erickson, and then getting to meet a bunch of new people like Amy from Movie Checklist, Adorable Rachel, Tara Erickson. It was just a great night all around, so I had a lot of fun, a lot of great connections, but let's see what the people in Stardust actually have to say about it. And like with all my other spoiler reviews, I'll be using the Stardust reactions as talking points for things that I can actually now spoil throughout the movie. So first up, we're going to start with GGTV.
Just got back from seeing an early morning showing of Rampage, and I've got to say, I had an absolute blast. This is such a fun film. A genuinely great popcorn flick that has 100% broken the video game adaptation curse. This is so crazy, so absurd, and it wears it like a badge of honor, delivering some over-the-top monster-punching action that is a joy to watch. Also, The Rock fist bumps a gorilla.
And The Rock also teaches George how to flip somebody off when necessary. Yeah, I still think this is the best video game movie out there, but I don't think it broke the curse quite yet. See, in order for the video game movie curse to be broken, it has to not only be based off a series of video games, but it has to be liked by most people. And Rampage, at best, is still getting mixed reception. I know a lot of people who enjoyed it, had fun, but acknowledged the goofiness, and there's some people out there that just downright hate it. Absolutely hate it. Just like the next reaction I'm going to talk about, which comes from Dr. Drummer. He's still fairly new to Stardust, but let's hear what he has to say.
What are you doing here, Dwayne? No, seriously, what are you doing here? We've already got you in a shitty Jumanji remake movie. We don't need you in a shitty live-action movie of a video game. It's bad. It's bad, Mr. Rock. No. You go away, you think about what you've done, and you don't come back, because neither of these films are going to work. They don't exist. It's a bad Dwayne. No. No.
Okay, first of all, I find it funny that he's treating Dwayne Johnson like a dog that shit on the carpet in your house, and I speak from experience from being on the end where I'm like, no, bad dog. But also, you go after Jumanji but ignore Baywatch, or ignore all the shitty kids movies that Dwayne Johnson did before he became the mega action star that he is now? Let's talk about Planet 51. Let's talk about the goddamn Tooth Fairy of all things. Get Smart, I'm actually on board with that kind of. It made me laugh, at least from the one time I've seen it. But once Dwayne Johnson broke into acting, he was not on a good winning streak. I mean, if you watch The Scorpion King, which came out a year after The Mummy Returns, he's not very good. He was in the position that John Cena is in right now, where he's not really good at the whole acting thing, but if you give him some time, he could probably improve. And I think John Cena could definitely improve. But the Tooth Fairy is just one of those things where you look at it and go, why would anybody in their right mind be in this? And also, why does this movie even exist? Why is it a theatrically released film? This is something that you'd see in the mid-1990s, not 2010. And plus, Jumanji was actually very clever because it had a great concept that stuck by with the whole video game aspect. The comedy worked. Jack Black was great in the role. I mean, all of them were great. Even Kevin Hart, who's just playing Kevin Hart. They made it work much better than anybody could have ever expected. All right, getting back into the realm of Rampage, because I got a little sidetracked. This next one comes from Vix Picks.
Sometimes you want to go see giant fighting robots, and sometimes you want to go see giant fighting animals, especially gorillas that are alongside The Rock. And you know what? It's just such a great, stupid movie to go see because it keeps itself on the level. It keeps everything. It never tries to be more than what it should be. It's just great popcorn fun. But this movie is incredibly violent, so don't take your kids. There's a lot of blood and stuff. But you know what? It's a good popcorn movie. Go see it this weekend. Awesome!
Like I said in my review, this is a pretty violent movie that's really pushing for an R rating. Specifically when it rips off aliens when they encounter the wolf. God, I'm talking about 2 movies in one day that rip off aliens. Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and now this. But anyway, when they rip off aliens, you see soldiers' bodies all over the place, and you see the wolf just be downright vicious. You see all the dead wolves that the mutated wolf Ralph left behind. And the way the wolf dies itself is actually pretty graphic as well, because the crocodile, who they never call Lizzie in the movie, pretty much decapitates the wolf and eats its head and swallows it whole. And then George is impaled by a giant metal rod, and then he takes that same rod and stabs the crocodile dead in the eye. It's pretty graphic at points, although I will say, in terms of its violence, and this is something that even as much as I enjoyed the movie, it bugged me. How can The Rock be shot and still standing without medical attention? Even though this movie's mission statement is just to be goofy and say, look, you just came for the giant monsters, just watch giant monsters. That was one element where I'm like, wait, no, stop. I can't accept the fact that Dwayne Johnson got shot right here and is still standing. No. Next up, we have a reaction from Kenji Paul.
So, this movie, it's kind of entertaining when the monsters are beating each other to death. Which doesn't happen that much, honestly. It's a small portion of this movie. Funny enough. The Rock is The Rock. And yeah, it's cheesy, mindless action. A couple laughs, but overall, a dumb action movie.
Dumb action movie is pretty much the way to sum it all up. And a lot of people, even some of the best reviews, say that it gets kind of boring in certain sections of the film. And yeah, admittedly, when there's not a lot of monster action going on, it is pretty dull, which is so typical to say when you're not enjoying a movie, especially something like a monster movie. But that's very much the truth. And like I mentioned, there are some unintentionally funny moments. And yeah, it's this kind of movie that you just either take it or you leave it. But when you do get to the monster action, like I said in my original review, it's well shot, it's well paced, and the only thing that really bugged me about the action scene in Chicago was the shameless Dave & Buster's product placement, because George destroys a Dave & Buster's, which that company in itself is promoting a new Rampage video game, I think. And George manages to destroy that whole building, but the Dave & Buster's logo is still there. It's still intact, and I'm like, yeah, that was really whorish. Last but not least, we have a reaction from Fast Flick, who actually tagged both me and Double Toasted in his reaction, and Double Toasted featured this reaction on their channel as well.
Entertaining B-movie that is great at being nothing more or less than what it really is. The action balances itself smoothly with premise, plot, and powerful charismatic cast, and never feels dull and empty in its dialogue like the Transformers movie, nor does it try to be another Jaws wannabe like the most recent Godzilla film. It strives to let an audience in this generation know that this type of blockbuster movie was more abundant decades ago. This is the best video game adaptation that is actually an adaptation, which means it feels like its own rendition and interpretation through a different medium while also evoking the same emotions the game does.
Okay, I am so glad that Double Toasted actually used this reaction and they put their video out first, because now I don't have to worry about stealing this joke. Hasbro, if you're looking for a new spokesman for Micro Machines, this is your guy right here. He could sell you Micro Machines like no one else can in this day. And plus, if he does good, you can use him as the new Blur in a new Transformers TV show, movie, or something if you decide to bring back Blur in anything Transformers related. So this was a reaction I had to watch several times because he was just talking so quickly. But like I said when I first saw the trailers, this movie has nothing to do with the games. It adapts a few moments when George eats Malin Åkerman, which by the way got a huge laugh in the theater because it just looked so goofy and it was just something you wanted to see from the games. That got the biggest laugh, but that's probably about the only thing that they really adapt, outside the fact that the gorilla's name is George, because with Ralph, they just throw that in at the last minute, and they don't even bother to name Lizzie, or the crocodile, because Crocodile has no name. And I still think 2014's Godzilla is a much better movie than this. Of course, I sound biased because I'm a massive Godzilla dork, but I just think Godzilla is more effective than Rampage is. So yeah, those are the reactions I have for Rampage. The next Stardust reaction video I'm going to do is going to be a trailer review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which came out just yesterday. So this is going to be a late review, but I'm going to try to make a point to get this out by Sunday, hopefully. So if you want to be featured in that video, go ahead, tag me in your reactions. But first, before you do all that, go ahead, download the app on your phone, create an account, follow me, RealMrRobinson, or you could go to the link down here, stardust.app.link/RealMrRobinson. Tag me in your reactions to the Jurassic World trailer, and I'll feature the best reactions on my video. So go ahead, do that, and until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on the movie, if and when you've seen it. And as always, this is the Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.